Before the cigarette rasp, before the alleyways and circus bands, Tom Waits sounded like this. Calm, soft, and almost polite. Closing Time wasn't the Tom Waits people remember. It was the Tom Waits that believed the night could end gently. He hadn't found the growl yet, but he'd already found the ache. A record that stumbled into beauty before the world caught up. It's 1972. Rock is loud, drunk, and proud of it. The Stones are hiding in exile. David Bowie's in space, and Bob Dylan's rewriting himself again. And somewhere in Los Angeles, there's this 22-year-old kid in a coffee house playing songs that sound like they belong to another century. Herb Cohen, Zappa's manager, hears it and gets it. He signs Waits, not because he's commercial, but because he's impossible to categorize. What they record isn't rebellion, it's reflection, a quiet album in a loud decade. The Closing Time sessions were small. A few nights, a few musicians, and barely enough tape. Tom was still figuring out what kind of songwriter he wanted to be. On Old 55, he said he wanted to sound like someone watching the sunrise after a hangover. Not sad, not happy, just suspended. There's something haunting about that. That tension between polish and pain is what makes Closing Time sound so timeless. The horns sound like a black and white movie, and the piano drifts like smoke. It's the soundtrack to a bar closing after midnight, when you don't know whether to go home or stay and watch the light change. It's not cool, it's not trying to be, it's vulnerable. And that's the secret. Closing Time isn't about reinvention, it's about accepting the beauty that already is. Closing Time didn't explode, it whispered. Someone at Elektra passed it on to the Eagles, and they recorded Old 55. But by then he'd already disappeared into the smoke. His next albums were full of grit and brass. Songs about drunks and dreamers, with a voice that sounded like bourbon being soaked in heartbreak. Listening now, you can feel that change coming. Closing Time is like the breath before the shout. Every artist has that one album, the one before they become who they think they are. For Dylan, it was Freewheeling. For Bowie, it was Hunky Dory. For Waits, it was Closing Time. It was the moment before the transformation, the quiet before the chaos, the sound of a man believing that he's still got something to lose. And that's why it hits so hard, because innocence always sounds loudest right before it's gone. We like to think artists grow toward greatness, but sometimes they start with it, then spend a lifetime trying to get it back. Closing Time isn't nostalgia, it's memory pretending to be new. You can feel it in every note, the ache of something ending beautifully. 50 years later, the record still feels like a question. What do you lose when you find your voice? And what if the most honest version of yourself was the one before the world noticed? Thanks for being here. If you like stories where music and memory blur together, hit the subscribe button and comment what you want me to talk about next.